Welcome back to the 801 Diaries podcast. I'm Abby.
And I'm Emily. And welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
We're so excited you're here. We're still working on making that transition smooth.
It doesn't work at all.
Welcome back. We're so excited to be here.
It's okay. We'll get it eventually.
Yeah, we will.
But for now, you just have to bear with it.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, Emily, what was your favorite and least favorite thing this week? I feel like we might have similar answers.
Okay. My favorite thing of this week was we went to Texas over the weekend for the eclipse. We went and saw that.
Yes.
So it was super fun.
That was my favorite thing as well. That eclipse was so cool.
I hadn't seen the one in 2017 really, so it was like a new experience.
I did see the one in 2017, and I forgot how absolutely incredible it is. It is like an otherworldly experience. It is so cool. If you ever have the opportunity to go see a full eclipse, you have to do it. Like it kind of sounds super lame, and people were really confused why we went all the way to Texas for an eclipse.
Yeah, like
but it is so cool. Like so incredibly cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so that was definitely like my favorite thing. You know, we went with our whole family, so it was so fun.
It's fun. The 7 of us were all together again. Yeah. We haven't been together in a while, so
yeah, we haven't taken a trip in a long time. All 7 of us, so it was really fun. It was a good time. What was that was your favorite thing?
That was my favorite thing.
What was your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing was having to mentally prepare for a tornado, which is something I never thought I would have to do ever. Yeah. Because we don't get tornadoes in Utah. Seriously, the only natural disaster we could possibly really get is an earthquake, and we've had one.
Yeah, and it wasn't
that big of a deal. So while we were in Texas, our last night there, it got really stormy, and there was a tornado watch or a warning.
It was
for our area.
So it wasn't a tornado warning. I did look this up because so I'm going to explain it. So a tornado watch, which it was, just means that the storms that are passing through are capable of maybe producing a tornado.
Yes.
There's no actual tornado.
Yes.
And there's no warning a tornado is probably going to happen.
Just that it could happen.
It could happen. It could.
But it wasn't extreme severity tornado watch. Yeah.
It wasn't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the storms were bad enough
that it could have created a tornado.
Yeah.
So the thought was there, and I have never once paid attention to what to do in a tornado. I think there was something about a bathtub, maybe. No ideas. So when we got the alert, when our dad checked the news or whatever, got the alert that there was a tornado watch, we're like, what do we do? Like, what do we even do? So we had to game plan what room we were going to go into and
that was
all those kinds of things. It was weird. It was a look at reality that I hadn't had yet.
Yeah, I get that.
That was my least favorite thing. There was no tornado, thank goodness.
Yeah, it was just heavy rain, so it was fine.
But that was my least favorite thing. What was yours?
My least favorite thing happened on the way to Texas. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
It was horrible. So let's set a stage. We have TSA PreCheck.
Yes, we do.
And I love it so much.
It's the greatest investment of all time, and we are better than everyone else there.
We are.
Those memes that are like, oh, my friend with TSA PreCheck totally abandoning me because I don't have it.
We are those friends.
We are those people.
I will abandon you 100% of the time. Ask Maddie.
Absolutely.
And so we have TSA PreCheck. And, you don't have to take off your shoes.
I know what you're about to talk about now. It just hit me. Yes.
You don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take off your belt. You don't have to get your laptop out. You bypass a lot of the, really stupid things.
Yes.
Okay.
Which the TSA is great. They're,
they do their job. It's no hate.
We understand why the things happen.
The rules are the way that they are. We understand. I'm a rule following citizen. It's fine. I don't care. Well, I got randomly selected to go through the full body scanner, which is okay, whatever.
This one.
Not a big deal.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, whatever. So I go through it, and I'm wearing sweatpants with a drawstring. So there's no metal or anything.
Yes.
And then it lights up saying that there's something they need to pat me down for. And I was like, there's not.
Yikes.
There's nothing. You don't need to pat me down.
And I was ahead of her in line. So I'm got my bags. I'm just hanging out. I look back and she's still waiting to
Yeah.
go through the metal detector.
Because for some reason, our lane, like the group of lanes, they just wouldn't send somebody over. So there was like a line of like 7 or 8 of us who got randomly selected, just like waiting to go through. So I finally get through and they're like, oh, we need to pat you down. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Let's
Let's
just
just do
get it
this.
over with.
Not a big deal.
Keep going.
I've never felt more violated
Oh
in
my
my
gosh.
entire life. Like, she was too friendly.
She really liked Emily, is what I keep saying.
She just
Holy cow.
She searched places
That did not need
that
to
did
be
not
searched.
need to be searched, and she
No.
searched them with such vigor.
Yes, and such. She was so thorough.
So thorough.
Truthfully, I was standing, on the other side of security, just waiting for her to come through. She goes through the metal detector thing, and then for a good full minute is pat down by this woman.
Like, let's just say her and my gynecologist
Same job. Same job.
They gave me the same thing. So, like, I was like, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I was so just horrified by the end of it.
Yes.
And I was like, I hate this so much.
Yes.
It was the worst. So that was my least favorite thing. And then also fun side note, same thing happened on the way back home.
Yes, the patting down wasn't as extreme.
It wasn't, no, she was a lot nicer. But for
Yes.
some reason, I got patted
You got
down
selected,
again.
randomly selected again. There's something
And then
about
patted
you.
down.
Yeah.
Like,
something
what is
about you.
that?
I don't know.
So I decided I need to get rid of these sweatpants because they're setting off
Something
some
about
form of
him.
alarm.
Something about him is
I was like, what is going
TSA
on?
does not agree with.
So it was just horrible. So that was like my least favorite thing of the week was my TSA experience. Normally, just
Breeze right through.
so
No-
easy,
no problem.
no big deal. But
I breezed right through.
yeah, but this
She did
was
not.
an exceptionally hard one.
It was.
Don't
It
recommend.
was.
So, lady at Salt Lake City Airport, I don't like you.
Maybe keep your hands to yourself a little bit.
You're not a gynecologist.
You're not. So
Okay.
so maybe not.
That's all I have to say on that. So,
So she got pat down pretty aggressively by
was horrible.
the TSA agent. I appreciate this woman's dedication to her job, but if she could do it in a different way, that would be much appreciated.
go to medical school.
Yes, if you care that much,
Go to medical school. That's all.
But don't, because that's not why you should go to medical school.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was just not fun. So, yeah.
So this week there was a very exciting 1-year anniversary, and we thought we would tell the story
Yeah.
of the chaos that was last year.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah.
a year ago, we lived in downtown Salt Lake.
Yeah.
We had an apartment in Salt Lake that we had been there for about 3.5 years.
Yeah. We were just about to hit our 4th year. We loved it.
We loved it so much.
It was our favorite place ever. Like, that apartment and like that time was just so fun. Like, we had all of our friends over all the time. Like, we would have friends over till like
2 a.m.
2 a.m. every
night.
Every night. People would just like come over and do homework, and we'd all have dinner, and it was just like this gathering place for all of our friends.
It was
And
really nice because like it was just us in this apartment.
Yeah.
And most of our friends were like in student housing or something where they had a lot of roommates. So since it was just us, it was like a great landing place for everyone.
Yeah.
Because we weren't disturbing other people or like being interrupted by other roommates and things.
Yeah, so it was just awesome. And so we just, like, all of our friends loved our apartment. Like, we loved it. It was just the best place
It was the
ever.
best place ever.
And about 1 year ago.
Yes. A little more than a year ago. We had kind of decided that like this like lease round was our last one.
Yeah,
like,
so we were going to move out in August.
We were going to move out in August when our lease was up. And so we had kind of started looking at other places, but not seriously because we had till August.
Yeah, we just started early because we were like, let's just see, let's put feelers out there, see what options are available.
Yeah.
Maddie, our roommate, she wasn't living with us at the time, but she wanted to move in with us. So we were like, okay,
Because
let's.
she had graduated, she was in student housing, so she had to move
Yeah.
anyway. So we're like, okay, well, let's find a place all 3 of us can move in together and
do that. So
do that instead.
So we started looking early. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then, holy cow,
Are we so glad we started
crap
looking
hit the
early?
fan. It was wild. So around like end of February, I start noticing problems in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Like my toilet is having issues. Like it's not flushing very well. It's like
Yeah.
having a lot of problems. And then
But like nothing too
nothing
bad.
too alarming.
It was just like,
and I'd had
oh,
problems
okay.
with this toilet before. For some reason, me and this toilet just did not get along.
Yeah, and it was
it
like-
screamed at me for like 2 months.
That was funny.
we had problems. So
Yeah.
like there were things going on, but nothing so alarming that I was going to call maintenance.
Yeah, it was just like,
It was just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, what the heck? This is
Yeah.
weird. But so then we go to St. George on a trip. And on that trip, we went to Vegas to see Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Incredible experience.
And
We love
leading
Taylor
up to this Taylor Swift concert, her toilet really started acting up.
Yes.
To the point where she was like,
When I get back, we're going to call maintenance.
Well, we called maintenance on the drive down.
Oh, we did?
And
I
they
don't remember
couldn't. Yeah, I remember this very vividly. So on the drive down, she called maintenance and was like, "Hey," like, especially since we were going to be gone that weekend.
You're right,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "Oh, just come fix it while we're gone." Like
Yeah.
that would be perfect. And they couldn't come till like Monday or Tuesday after we got
We'd
back.
already been back.
So it was like,
okay, whatever. But
at least
they
we're
were
on the
scheduled
schedule.
to come. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were scheduled to come. So we get back, and I go to my bathroom, and I look in my toilet, and there's like dirt and rocks, just
Which
like
is
in the bottom of the bowl. And I
so
know
weird.
what you're thinking. There's other things that look like dirt and rocks. This was actually dirt and rocks.
also, we had been gone
All
all
weekend.
weekend. It's not like there was someone actively using that
No.
toilet
No,
for
no.
like 5 days.
So we're like, I sent a video actually to Maddie because I was
Yeah.
like, what the heck is this? Like, this is so weird.
Yep.
So we try flushing it, and it like just doesn't flush. Like, it kind of bubbles up water,
It
but
was
it's just
weird.
kicking up more dirt and rocks.
And we're like,
I'm
where is this
what
coming
the heck?
from?
Why is there dirt in my toilet?
Yeah.
Like, this is so bizarre. So we're like, okay, well, maintenance is coming anyways.
Yeah, they were coming the next day.
Yeah, they were coming the next day. So I'm like, okay, I'm just using Emily's toilet until
No big deal.
Till they
'Cause
come.
Thank goodness we had two
Yeah,
bathrooms.
we had 2 bathrooms, so we weren't bathroomless. But I was like, okay, like we'll just worry about it. Like, maintenance will come, get it fixed. No big deal. I'm like, perfect. This
No
is
biggie.
great. So about a month prior, we had found this place that we're in
that we
now.
live now.
And it had kind of worked out where we had
The landlord was like, it was a new build.
Yeah, new build.
And
So
so-
no one was already living there. So they were just kind of waiting for us to move in.
Yeah, they
So
were-
it was vacant for us.
They were like finishing, like getting the finishing things for tenants to move
Yes,
in.
yeah.
And so we had kind of already like laid claim to it.
Yeah.
But we weren't going to move in until later.
Until August, till
because
our lease
again,
was up.
we had that lease. And so we were luckily sitting on this apartment. This
which
this
will
home.
become important later.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the next day comes, maintenance comes while I'm at a meeting. I'm at a meeting, and so I'm like, Emily, can you be there for when maintenance comes? Because we didn't want maintenance just in there, like,
Yeah.
with no one there. So maintenance comes, and it's this dopey kid.
Let me tell you, as the person who had to live through this,
Yes.
these kids were idiots. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to be mean because they like decide, they look at it and they're like, "Oh, well, we need to remove the toilet to get to the like plumbing underneath." So they leave and then they come back. At this point, this is like the 3rd time maintenance has come. And so they remove the toilet and they come out and they say, "So we kind of found some problems." So maintenance comes and they remove the toilet and they start going through everything. And Maddie had come over that day because I was like, I don't want to be alone.
She's alone. Like,
And Maddie was like, I'm just doing homework. So I was like, please just come over and hang out with me while this is going on. So Maddie and I are sitting in our living room, and I just all of a sudden I start hearing them like shop vacuuming up like water, and I was like, where are they? What is going on? And then all of a sudden you hear like thudung, 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 and it's a bunch of rocks being vacuumed up, and I was like, what is going on? So then Doofus comes out, and he comes up to me and he goes, so we figured out one of the problems is somebody's been flushing rocks. And I was like, what?
Like, excuse me?
And
Did
he
you
goes-
just accuse me of flushing rocks?
He's like, yeah, we found some rocks in there that were like the size of a softball. So you obviously were flushing them.
First of all, who in their right mind would flush any sized rock?
Any.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Second of all, you can't even flush a rock that big.
It's too big. It wouldn't fit down
go
the hole.
down.
Like, oh my
it's
gosh.
a rock. It's not mushy.
It
like,
was-
it won't
it's not gonna-
adapt to its environment. It's a rock.
It is a rock. And it was so frustrating. So he's out here just like accusing us of flushing rocks. And I was like, no, there's no way this is real.
Yeah.
And so they spent like 3 hours that day. And I was like gonna go insane because it's 3 hours of just the shop vac going and the rocks and the water. And Maddie and I was like, Maddie, we have to leave. So as soon as they left, Maddie and I left because I was like, I'm not going to be in here anymore. So that was a Wednesday. I remember, like, oh my heck.
So I get back that night and I go into my bathroom and they like had the toilet off. Like I couldn't use it or anything, but my bathroom smelled like weed.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's the thing.
Were they here for 3 hours? Because they were just smoking weed in my bathroom.
Yes.
So we are not happy with these maintenance people.
Not at all. Furious, actually.
Yes.
Because this was literally the third day they had been there trying to figure out what was wrong with this toilet. And I was like, not in the mood.
And these were just like the maintenance kids. Like they were, or like just like the assistant, like the helpers for the maintenance. They weren't like actual electricians or plumbers or anything like that. So they go, all right, well, we're going to send the actual plumber tomorrow because they couldn't figure out why there were all these rocks. And we were promising them I was not flushing rocks. Because that is an insane thing to accuse someone of.
Wild.
But anyways, so the next day,
they
come back while I'm at work.
Yeah, and I was the contact on the phone. Like like I was kind of the main person on the lease, so I was always getting the calls. So I'm at work, and I get a call around like 1:00 in the afternoon, and they call and they say, "Hey, just so you know, there's some problems with your toilet." And I was like, no duh.
Yeah, we know. There's rocks.
And they said, well, because of the way the problems are once the plumber got there, we actually have to dig deeper.
Well, that was the second time the plumber came. The first time, they were like, we need a larger snake to get down there more. So we're like, okay, so this is going on another day.
Yeah.
So then the next day they come and they're like, we got the larger snake and there's still rocks. Like they can't find the end of the rocks.
Yeah, it was just a whole thing.
So they're like, okay, well, we're going to have to tear up
part of the floor
to
find the end.
Yeah.
And so when they called me, they were like, we have to tear up the floor. And because of that, it's not going to be sanitary for you guys to live in this apartment while we're doing this. And by now,
it's Monday.
No, it's still Friday. It's still Thursday.
It was in fact a Thursday. She's right. I was wrong.
So Thursday they call me and they say that this isn't sanitary for you guys to live in. And I was like, okay, great. And they're like, well, luckily we have they had these apartments you could rent for like a hotel kind of a thing. And they're like, we have this available. You guys are going to move in there tonight.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, awesome. So I tell Abby, and she gets home from work, and we just hurry and gather a bunch of board games because that's all we did.
Yes, we had a full suitcase of board games, and then obviously that's most important. And then like one suitcase full of like
clothes,
our absolute necessities.
Yeah, like just because
we had to get out. They're like, you can't be here.
It's not
sanitary
for you guys to be here. So we're
like, you got to get your stuff and go.
We're like, okay, great. So we're there. So we get there. We're there Friday and Saturday. And then obviously because of the weekend, we don't hear anything. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they had the plumber come back out to like really start tearing into it, see what he can do. I am at my grandparents' house and I get a call from the apartment and I was like, oh my heck. So I go take the call and they tell us that the apartment is not going to be livable.
Basically condemned.
Basically. They had to...
This singular apartment is basically condemned.
What they realized there was so much more work that they needed to do.
They had to tear up...
No, they hadn't told me this yet.
Okay, yeah.
So they just told me there was a lot of work and that they needed to... Like, we needed to move out so they could do all the work because it was going to take a couple months. And they're like, we have another apartment for you. It's right
above you.
Right above you guys, so it's not like... far away, anything like that. And we were like, oh my heck.
We're like, so not only are we moving, but we're moving for like 3 months and then we're moving again.
And so I got off the phone and I went and I talked to our landlord and
and she called me.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we have to move. Like no matter where we go, like we have to move. So I, start having a panic attack and I'm like, well, I'll go get boxes
because we didn't even know what to do.
Because we really had no idea what to do because we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
because they were kind of like, it might be a couple weeks, it might be a couple months. Like you just need to get out.
You just have to move.
So we're like, are we moving to the apartment above us for 2 weeks and then we have to move back? Like
we didn't know what was going on.
So I was like, I'm going to Home Depot and I'm buying some boxes. So I get to Home Depot and I just start crying.
And keep in mind, Abby's still 22 at this time, so she hasn't gotten in touch with her feelings.
She's not tender yet. So the fact I was crying, A, is a big deal. I was crying in public, even bigger
deal.
But this like sweet old couple was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need anything?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just stressed." Like just having a mental breakdown in Home Depot.
It was so bad.
But so I got a couple boxes and like I got back to the apartment. I went up to the place we were staying.
Yeah.
And then you came home.
And I came home. And so as soon as I got the news that we were moving out, no matter what, I was like, what do we do? I was like, maybe we knew that our townhome was going to be ready earlier. So if we could break our lease and get out,
we had a place to go.
So I immediately started talking to the landlord, like,
can we just break our lease?
Well, our new landlord. I was like, can we just move in now?
Yeah.
It's not ready, but can we just move in so that way we don't have to move twice?
Yeah.
Because
moving sucks.
Moving sucks, and I was like, I can't do it.
And we do it like ourselves and like with family. Like we don't hire movers or anything like that. So we're like, if we have to do this twice in a couple months, like that sucks.
So our landlord was like, yeah, like if you need to move in, just move in. It's okay. Like we'll figure it all out. And so bless him, like that was amazing.
Yes.
So then it came time to breaking the lease with our apartment. And so I went and I called and I was like, hey, what if we just wash our hands of the lease? Because they were going to pay to have a moving company move us from our first floor apartment to the second floor. And I was like, how about we don't do any of the movers? We don't do anything. Let's just cancel the lease and we'll be done. And
we'll call it good. We'll say thank you so much. And we'll be out of your hair 3 months earlier than we originally thought we were going to be.
And they were like, no, you need to stay. And we were like, I'm not staying.
No. You're forcing us to move to a different apartment. We don't want to move. Like, we're very happy where we are.
Yeah.
Our lease doesn't have that much longer left. Like,
can we please
just get out?
Please just let us leave. And they were like, no. And so that was Monday. Monday was just, and so we just were stressed, like beyond stressed.
So I think we just got takeout and sat upstairs and cried.
Yeah, that's all we did because we couldn't
do anything that night.
Couldn't even try to move.
Because like we really just had no idea where we were even going. Like, because that was going to impact how we packed. Like,
yeah, because are we packing to move to our new city or are we staying in Salt Lake?
Are we just moving upstairs? Like,
yeah, like what are we doing? So we really
had no idea.
It was so stressful. So the next day, they told us no, that we weren't going to be able to break our lease. And so then I went into the leasing office and I sat down with the manager and I was like, hey, I know
you have to have some wiggle room here.
Like, I was like, I know this doesn't come from you because she had to talk with the people.
They're like legal,
whatever.
The like corporate company that was over
that owns it. Like, and so I was like, I know you have to do this. I was like, but can you please go to bat for us? I was like, please just
like, we have loved living here so much. Like, we don't want to leave on a sour note. Like,
I was like, please, can you just,
we've been like
do whatever
loyal
you can.
Tenants for like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Like, please
just let
fight
us
for us a little bit here.
And she's like, okay, I will.
Yeah.
And so, and as I was leaving, I said, can I ask what's wrong? And she goes, oh, well, when they took the toilet up, they found out there's a gaping hole under.
There's a void.
There's a void. That's what it was. She goes, there's a gaping void and like they don't know how big it is. So they're going to have to tear up all the bathroom, the kitchen, and maybe go into the other bedroom on the other side because the hole is that big.
Yeah.
So
she goes, what we think happened
yeah,
was during the earthquake in 2020,
3 years prior,
the pipes underneath broke during the shifting.
Yeah.
And so they have just been spewing water underneath our apartment for 3 years.
Yep.
So eventually enough dirt had corroded away underneath my toilet pipes that they broke and were shoving rocks up.
And so there was a giant sinkhole.
Void. as she so loved.
She called it a void. It was
a
a
sinkhole that we had been living atop for 3 years.
And so I was like, oh my gosh. So we decided then, even if they still made us move and we had to...
Because again, they were moving us to the apartment above.
Yeah, we were like, we're not
From
safe.
what we understand of sinkholes, if it goes, everything atop it goes as well.
Yes, exactly. And we were like, last year, Utah got so much water. We were like about to start having really bad floods and sinkholes and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to live on top of this if this goes.
Yeah.
And so we made the decision that night that whatever,
even if we can't break our lease, we're moving. We're leaving.
We're gonna move. We'll make it work. Mm-hmm. If we pay double rent for a couple months, then whatever. Who cares?
At least we're safe.
We're safe. I don't care. So we start taking some like luggage full of clothes to this house.
Yes.
And our parents come and meet us and start helping us like try to organize stuff and like figure everything out. And I remember we were sitting in my room and we just sat there and I just started crying. Like it was just so hard.
It was like truthfully like traumatic. Like having your life like completely change in a weekend like that.
And like not in a positive way.
Yeah, not in a positive way was like super traumatic.
It was really hard. And so we were like, okay, we've got something moved over. We now know, like, okay, we're moving. We're going to get our stuff out, like, whatever. So then we go back home to Salt Lake, and I get a phone call, and they were letting us out of our lease.
Yes.
And, like...
Glory be.
Like, praise.
That manager lady. She is our hero.
She really helped us out. And so we're like, okay,
we'll be out by the end of the week.
Yeah, she's like, you guys need to be out because the apartment we were sleeping in that they'd given to us was being rented out. So we needed to be out by Monday, and it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, like,
great,
we'll do it.
We'll do it.
And like, we decided on a end date of our lease, our new, our whatever. And we're like, okay, we're going to hurry and do this.
Yeah.
So we spend that whole week just driving.
Like after work, all we're doing is just trips back and forth, taking clothes, taking everything.
And like, luckily I worked for my dad, and he was so great to like kind of give me time and be like, hey, I'll take care of stuff here if you just need to worry about moving. Like we need, like, he's like, we need to get you out. So like priority one, do that.
Getting everything out.
Like, bless my dad. That was like the nicest thing ever. And so we were like, okay. So then we started like moving everything, whatever. And
packing
then
everything up. I went and got more boxes.
She went and got more boxes because we were like, hey, we're full moving. Yeah. And so we were like, hey, we rented a U-Haul for Saturday. Our brother and sister-in-law were going to come down and help us move. And we were going to do it. And we were going to just move. And that was it. Mm-hmm. And so then we moved.
Yeah. So Saturday comes. Our parents were out of town, so it was just us and our brother and sister-in-law. Bless them.
Like Tyler and Nicole.
It would not have happened if they did not come, because holy cow.
It was so bad.
But like, we had lived in this apartment for like 3.5 years. So like, we had so much crap. We had so much stuff. And like, we had everything. And like, all the furniture was ours, everything that we were moving here. So we had to pack up everything.
Every single thing. And so it was like, we had gotten it really well organized and like a lot of stuff brought over before the U-Haul showed up, because we wanted to make it as easy as possible on that day so we could just take the stuff and then go.
Yeah. We're like, mostly just the big things, if we can just like get all the little things out, and then we have the big things for the U-Haul, and then get all that out, and then we'll
be done. And so we did, and we loaded up the U-Haul.
Tyler drove it. Bless his soul.
And then we came here, we unloaded everything. We got our furniture all like rebuilt, like our beds and stuff. And then we just like started unpacking. And then that night we had a party. Like our friends had a party because they had just moved. So we went to their house. And we were like so glad, because it was like so nice to just like relax after this crazy stressful week. And then the next Sunday was Easter.
And like we had moved everything, but like we weren't unpacked yet, so we're like, we'll go spend like this weekend in the apartment that they had let us live in for
like we'll get ready and we'll shower and all that kind of stuff, because that was still all there. We did sleep here because we wanted our beds.
But we still had stuff over there, so we did still spend quite a bit of time there after we moved, but it was wild.
It was like crazy. And then we had Easter, and it was awesome because we loved our ward, and so it was it was nice to be able to go and like
real
say
goodbye,
where we were like so stressed and panicking and stuff. And then the Monday we turned in our keys and we were
that was it.
Gone.
That was it.
And it was crazy because like it was so funny. So the day we turned in our keys, this is really what's kills me, is I had an appointment with my therapist later that day, and I go every 2 weeks. And so
she hadn't been.
She knew we were just chilling.
Yeah.
I was about to go to Taylor Swift.
We were just hanging out, having a good time.
And so it was so funny. And so she's like, so what's new? And then I told her, and she goes, holy cow.
You're like, what isn't new?
Let's dissect. And so then she's like, this is a lot. And I was like, yes, it's been a great couple of weeks.
Yes. But it was really funny to like just see like the stress and everything, but once we found out like where we were going and like had a direction, it like things just got so easier. It was like
it was just nice.
So funny.
And like even though it was still so stressful and just like so hard, it was like there was so much relief of like, hey, we know where we're going. We got out of our lease, which was such a blessing.
It was such a blessing.
This house was like, we were able to move into it, you know? And so it was just like, everything was so like laid out perfectly. And like, I am so grateful for that, because had it not been, this sinkhole would have been even bigger of a disaster.
And it was funny because we had like a lot of other things going on in our life at that time too. I was just recovering from a rash. I had a really bad rash last year.
She did.
And it was also traumatic. But so we also like, we had all these things going on, and then we're like, oh my gosh, and now we have to move. Like we have to, at the drop of a hat, like get out of this apartment.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Because there was a sinkhole underneath us, like of all the things.
Yeah, like it was just a crazy time. Like I've never felt such a 180 shift in my life, like where everything got turned up on its head. And like it was just crazy. And so now it's been officially one whole year
since we turned in our keys.
And so we're now like it's crazy now to look back at the last year and just like think about it, and it was just kind of crazy. But yeah, so that was our like 1 year anniversary of our sinkhole.
Crazy story, not one that many people have, where they were kicked out of their apartment because there was this giant sinkhole underneath it.
No, there's not many people that can say that.
But we did love that apartment. We were really sad.
So I did want to ask, what were like some of your favorite memories? Because I've been kind of using this time like looking back, you know, memories to like think about, because we were there a long time.
Yeah, we were there like for, at least in our situation, where we were still in school, and like it's a pretty transitional time period. So like to be in this one apartment for 3.5 years was pretty unheard of.
Like the things that took place in that apartment.
Yes. Well, I have my favorite memory.
Yes.
We had a Halloween party in 2021.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was that one.
And our one friend came as stripper Patrick Star from SpongeBob.
Yes.
And he really wanted to show us his tights. So, and to be fair, we weren't super close at this point.
We didn't know him
super well. We knew him pretty well, but not super well.
Yeah.
This man just dropped his pants in our living room. He was fully covered. But just he had like biker shirt or like basketball shorts on.
Over.
And he just dropped them, and I don't think I've ever laughed that hard. It was so funny.
So fun. It was like, that was such a wild
It was so funny
experience.
because it was this party that we threw together in literally like 24 hours. And
it was chaos.
But yeah, it was so funny. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah, memory. I think that one's so. I think, I mean, kind of along that same thing. Like I think about my favorite time, my like favorite memories. One of them that just stands out is the next year, Halloween 2022.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I had always like thought it'd be so fun to just post a flyer on Instagram, social media, whatever, and just say, hey, party at our house, and like
see who shows
up. And like, so it was so fun.
It was so fun.
So we did that. And like our little apartment, we got like 40, 50 people
in there. It was packed.
It was
we were
so,
sardines in there.
And it was so fun. And like we just like
so much fun.
We curated this like way cool Halloween party, and it was just so fun.
It was
and
so fun.
Like that was for me like one moment where it was like kind of a dream come true, just because I'd always wanted to
have this like super like legit party. It was so fun.
And so it was just so fun. But then I think of like all the other parties we had there.
I know. So one year, for my 21st birthday,
yes,
I was kind of bummed because there were things that were going on, and it wasn't like the super greatest birthday, and it was my 21st birthday, so it was supposed to be a fun birthday. And so Emily so lovingly planned a surprise party for me on my birthday, which was super, super fun and super nice.
Yeah.
But so like I was kind of suspicious, but I didn't know for sure. But when we were walking back in, like she's kind of behind me, and I was like, what the heck is she doing? Like, is it or is it not? But I opened the door and it's dark and there's no one in there. So I'm like, oh, like
she didn't,
which is totally fine. But so I open the door, like it registers that no one's in there. And then all of a sudden our friend flies. Like I'm not even kidding, flies.
Yes.
From the other side of our kitchen right in front of me and just goes, happy birthday! And scared the living daylights out of me. It was so funny. He was up on the countertop and then just like leaped.
It was
right in front of me.
good.
And then everyone was like, "You were supposed to wait till she turned the lights on." It was really funny.
It was just so funny.
But that's a
good party.
Memories,
like
so.
I think about our Christmas party. Like okay, so let's preface. We throw a lot of parties.
Yes,
I love a party.
We're the designated party throwers because we throw great parties. We have such a good time.
So we're like, especially when we were in Salt Lake, we were throwing parties like all the time. Like even, like we talked about earlier, our friends would just show up at our house all the time.
It was the party place.
Yeah. And so this this Christmas party, we had convinced our dad to dress up as Santa Claus, because again, Christmas is my favorite time of the year. I love Christmas so much. I get so excited. I love like getting into like little traditions and like I just love Christmas. So it was so fun. And we convinced our dad, but we didn't tell anybody at the party that he was coming. So only we knew. But he made me give him my key to our house, so then he could just show up whenever he wanted. So then we didn't even know when he was going to show up. And so I just remember we had the back door open because it was so hot, because there was so many people in there. We had the back door open, and I'm just standing by the door, and all of a sudden, Santa jumps in, and he goes, "Merry Christmas!" And I was so scared, and I knew they were there because I had been out letting people in, and I saw them, so I knew they were there. So I should have been expecting it, but I was so.
But he came through the back door, and like it scared me so bad. Like I was talking to this person, and he was like, "Did you know they were coming?" Because I was so incredibly startled.
Yeah.
That like he was like, I don't know if she knows that these people were coming.
Like, or she knows. Funny. Like, do you know them? Are they supposed to be here? Did they just?
Yeah, it's my parents.
We're like, yeah, no, this is good, and it was so
they
fun.
startled us so bad,
and like
it was so funny. Like they were just so cute.
We were
the best parents ever.
It was just so fun, and then like I just think about how much fun we had, because we really like. One thing I loved about what we did with our parties and like where it was just a revolving door basically, is like we never had the same group of people at a party.
Like it was always just whoever wanted to be there was absolutely welcome to come.
Yeah. Like, and that was just such like a fun thing. Like we got to know so many more people than just like our group of friends. But honestly, our group of friends, if we said hi to somebody, we would just like bring them in.
Yeah.
And so like the amount of friends we made by like talking to people and then having someone else hear about our party and being like, "Hey, do you want to come to our party tonight?" Like,
yeah, like we have a really good friend who we became friends with him like not long before we moved.
It was like a month.
It was like a month. We felt really bad. But he like was just like talking to one of our other friends,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, we're gonna go get boba, like, do you want to come? And then while we were getting boba, we're like, oh, it's my birthday like a week later.
No,
we're
it was like 2 days later.
2 days later, we're like, oh, do you want to come to the party? Like, it'll
we're
be
like,
fun.
Do you want
Like,
to come?
Yeah.
And he's like, sure.
Sure.
Now he's
But
one
that-
of our best friends. And like,
that happened like a lot of times. Like,
Yeah.
there were always just new people coming
it was-
around, hanging out, like, just having fun.
it was just so fun. And then like, I remember for this specific Christmas party, I remember getting a text in the morning and this kid was like, hey, I heard you're having a party. Do you mind if I come? And we was like,
Please
great,
do.
please
Like, please come.
And now like we talk about that and we're like, oh my heck, remember that time when
Yeah.
he came? Like, it was just,
it was so fun.
it was just so much fun. And I think like we did such a good job, like not to pat ourselves on the back.
But like we were like it was, and a lot of our friends there were like either international or just like not from Utah. So
Yeah.
we wanted to like create a place where people could just come
And
like feel
feels-
welcome
yeah.
and feel like they had friends and they like had a place to be.
Yeah.
I feel like we did a really good job.
I think
with
we did
that.
too. And I think that like I just am so grateful for it because I look at the friendships we built
Mm-hmm.
and like to me that's what the time that in that apartment is like we built some amazing friendships
Mm-hmm.
and like it just was so cool. And I don't know, like I will never be able to recreate
Yeah.
like that.
Well, like my birthday party, the surprise birthday party, Maddie, like we didn't know her very well at all. Like we'd
talked to her once,
yeah, we'd
maybe
like
twice.
gone ice skating or something, and she was there. So like we knew her, but like we weren't friends with her. And Emily had invited her
Yeah.
to my birthday party, and afterwards, like we still joke about this. I was like, oh my gosh, like Maddie came, like that's so sweet of her. Like we don't know her that well, and like she came by herself, like she didn't come with like a group of friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was so like sweet of her to come, and like now she's our roommate. She's one of our best friends. Like,
And like it just like that was just so fun. And like it's hard to like explain how grateful I am for that
Yeah,
experience
absolutely,
because
yeah.
like I just like that apartment and that time is just like so cool and
yeah,
so fun
like
and
such
like
a special time for us.
yeah, and especially like because like it was your college, like your only college experience. You know, I had lived in other places before and after my mission for college. It was just like such a cool like time, and it was just like
Well, and we joke about it too, but like we really didn't get along very well.
No.
When we were kids,
not at all.
Like, well, because there's a 5-year age difference between us. So like, when
was-
I was 10, she was 15. Like those are two completely different worlds.
Yeah, and like it's hard to, you know, like it's hard as the older sister to like no offense, but like hang out with your little
Yeah.
like dweeby sister.
I was annoying. I just wanted to hang out with her. She didn't want to hang out with me. I wasn't cool enough for her. But like, so like we really didn't get along
Yeah.
when we were kids. And so like to have that time where like we were able to get really close and like
truly become like I'll cry. Cuz like it just like was really I'm going to cry. But it was just like a really special time.
it really was.
And, you know, and it's been like reflecting on it a lot cuz again,
It
this
was
all happened
It was so chaotic that like we didn't really get to say goodbye in the way
No.
we wanted to, which was like really disappointing because this was a place we loved.
We loved
so
and,
much
like-
and had so many great memories and just like so much love for this apartment.
Yeah, and just like the time there and like the people we were so blessed to meet. Like it was just
That
so
like truly changed our lives forever.
yeah, like it was just so hard to like leave. So it's been so fun this like last week and a half to like look
really
back
reflect
and
over our time there.
because it was so good.
It was so good.
and like it was good for you and me like and like especially I don't know, I'm also like very sentimental since I'm moving, like
Yeah.
it just like I'm so grateful for everything that happened there because it just enriched our lives so much. And like all the people we met, like grateful for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Like
Truly every single person we met there.
I it wouldn't have been the same without every single
Yeah.
one. And like I'm just so grateful for
Yeah.
it.
And like so grateful, like truthfully grateful that we left when we did, because if like things were just changing and like it was just getting evident that it was time for us to move
Yeah.
on. So like the opportunity to leave when we did, like I think was really beneficial. Where
Yeah.
nothing was soured and nothing was like
Yeah.
it changed our perspective on that place or those people at all.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like it was time for us to move on, and we've had like the last year living here has been amazing and we've loved it. And I'm so grateful for where we're at now. But I look back at our time in Salt Lake and it's nothing but like happy memories. And like, even when like times were hard and whatever, because we obviously, you go through,
life's hard. Yeah.
Life is hard. But like, I still look back and I think, man, what a great time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. I just like really am grateful for it. So
yeah. It was, such a good time. Such a crazy story of how we had to leave. Like, truthfully, I still think about it and I just laugh because it was a crazy week and a half.
Yeah.
But
insane.
But such a great time.
Yeah. Like, we're so grateful. So.
We really are, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah. That is the story of the sinkhole underneath our apartment.
Crazy.
Made us leave.
Crazy.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.